Unfortunately, I've been alive long enough to experience some massive changes in gaming products, and from my knowledge as a professional gamer, I've discovered some of the most impactful upgrades that you can make to your gaming setup. Some can actually make you play better.
The first one is one of the biggest upgrades that I think you can get, literally, and it's one that people forget to enable when they even get one, and that is a 120Hz or greater monitor. I cannot understate this enough as being an integral part of any gaming setup today, because going back to 60Hz will literally make your eyes bleed. This also provides a real benefit. On 60Hz, your monitor will update the image you see 60 times a second. Obviously, at 120Hz, that's more than double, and the improvement is a significantly smoother image when in motion. In terms of which one you should go for, 144Hz seems to be the standard these days, and it's probably the best value for money. I've checked the prices of some of these and they are amazing. One thing is important, you must be able to run your selected video game at least 144 FPS to benefit. A 144Hz monitor is a massive upgrade to any setup moving from 60Hz anyway. The next upgrade a lot of people wouldn't think to actually include, yet I still get a lot of comments and DMs from people with some absolutely terrible gaming mice, with outdated internals, poor mouse feet and heavy weights. So upgrading to a high performance esports or competitive gaming mouse, whatever you want to call it, will provide an actual benefit and not in the way that you're probably thinking. First is the weight side of it. A lighter weight means less friction. It's easier to move around on your mouse pad, which also means that your arm as a whole is putting less effort into doing so, which will have long-term benefits to your arm. A case in point is myself. I'm at the age of and I can play games for multiple hours every day with no pain or discomfort anywhere on my arm. I know many people from my time as a professional player that get pain in their arm or their wrists after just a couple of hours of playing games. And I credit my longevity down to using incredibly lightweight mice combined with a very fast mouse pad that makes moving my mouse around absolutely effortless. The other factor is that a lot of these high-end gaming mice have the best internals that you can get on a mouse, and I'm not talking about the sensor performance. That pretty much peaked years ago, and outside of increased polling rates, what we have now is just a battle of who can remove 0.01 millisecond of latency off their benchmarks. The key difference for me with the mice that we have now and a few years ago is everything else. The coating, switches, build quality and other functions of the mouse have been improved massively over the years, and with the improvements to wireless performance in terms of stability and battery life, now is the best time to invest in something that could make you a better player. If you don't know where to start, just get the first generation of the Logitech G Pro X Superlight. If you're unsure on your preference of shape and grip type, the Superlight is likely going to be comfortable for you. There is a rough part of the Superlight which does move me to my next recommended upgrade. This may not apply to every mouse, but it's a worthwhile option to explore, as some mice do ship with less than desirable mouse feet. The Superlight has the worst stock feet of any high-end gaming mouse, and the fact that they kept these in the Superlight 2 somewhat shows where Logitech are heading as a brand. Aftermarket skates can transform a mouse with awful mouse feet, like the Superlight, from having a scratchy feel to feeling buttery smooth. For mice that ship with decent mouse feet, there's still an option to fine-tune your mouse if you want a bit more control or speed. You can get some that are specifically shaped for your chosen mouse, but if you can't find any, you always have the option to buy some dot skates and use those instead. Another option is to get glass skates. These are really good if you want the blood travelling through your hands to have an effect on your aiming ability. It's pretty much like playing on an air hockey table. This next recommended upgrade might be a bit controversial. It's another section that plays a key role of how your mouse feels when playing, and I go as far as saying that this can make a 70-gram mouse feel like 40 grams and a 40-gram mouse feel like nothing. With cloth mouse pads, I'd suggest getting something that is at least 40 centimeters tall and wide, and has a thickness of around 3 millimeters. This is a massive jump as a starting point, as small mouse pads are incredibly restrictive and, in my opinion, rather low quality. The biggest upgrade I can recommend though is to get a glass mousepad. Cloth mousepads are flawed. How it feels when you first buy it changes over time from general wear and tear, and the only option to restore it is to wash it. Even then, you can find that you'll end up with areas of the mousepad feeling muddier than others, which will cause inconsistencies with your aim. A glass mousepad won't, or it will at least keep that same consistency for a lot longer. I've had a Pulsar Superglide and the Razer Atlas for a year and a half now. They've both been used a lot and have been mistreated as well, but they still feel the exact same as the first day I got them. I will admit you're going to need a lot of time to get used to them, but from my experience, once I got used to a glass pad, my aim has never been better, and I really believe that is down to the consistency that these provide. The only maintenance they require is to wipe it with a microfiber cloth before playing to remove any dust, and that's literally it. If you spill anything on a glass mousepad, you just get a cloth and wipe it away. With a cloth one, you probably have to wash it. Some have said that glass pads wear down mouse feet, but I haven't experienced this issue. If that does happen though, buying one $100 mousepad and then buying new skates for $10 every year is a lot better than continually re-buying the same cloth mousepad. And also, don't buy a mousepad because you think the anime girl on the cover is cute or she might be your waifu. She's not real. Go outside. The last upgrade is something more recent but has had a massive impact in gaming. It might not be as important as the monitor, but it is still quite significant. And it's also responsible for cleaning out the term gaming keyboards, and that is the Hall Effect keyboard. Before Hall Effect keyboards, gaming keyboards were literally a mockery. Sometimes they would provide benefits of extra keys, but overall they were pointless and also looked ridiculous. Then the Wooting 60HE came along and showed everyone what a Hall Effect keyboard can do. This changed everything people thought about gaming keyboards. I personally don't consider a keyboard to be a gaming one if it doesn't have Hall Effect features. These kind of keyboards don't provide anything groundbreaking when you first use them, but after a few months you get used to the workings of the software and start experimenting with the functions. Then you really start to understand why everyone takes Hall Effect keyboards seriously. I personally can play without rapid trigger, but I can't play without per key adjustable actuation that some Hall Effect keyboards have. Everyone finds a feature that they can't turn their back on. The top recommendation I would say is the Wooting 60HE. It has the best functionality of all the Hall Effect keyboards. Then the Keychron Q1HE for a higher quality product. The Drunk Deer HE keyboards are pretty good also. They all have the key functions that I want in a Hall Effect keyboard: rapid trigger and adjustable actuations. Now, in order of priority for these upgrades, I put it as follows: monitor, esports or competitive gaming mouse, Hall Effect keyboard, glass mousepad for a big upgrade, and finally better mouse feet. Don't use glass gates on a glass pad, by the way. These recommended upgrades are probably some of the most impactful that you can get. If you want to check out some of the products that I've mentioned in this video, there will be links in the description, and oh look, there's a video that has popped up now.